So Dennise, we were chatting, weren't we, about that sort of mid-range pitching distance where you don't need a full swing on it, but you're also far enough away that it's not just a little chip or a pitch around the green. It's that awkward, I like to call it no man's land, because you know a lot of people don't know what to do. They prefer the full swing and they don't know how to start bringing the length of the swing
and they
down.
think they've got to slow down or do whatever.
Yes, or just decelerate on it.
Seriously,
that's the worst thing to do.
I think you master this shot, and you will take, depending on your handicap, you're going to take at least 5 shots off
Absolutely,
your scoring,
absolutely.
Because it's almost foolproof. There's less room for error, and you can get an exact distance that it carries.
Yes, and if you can get your sort of 40, 50 metre pitching shots onto the green in one pretty much every time, how many shots is that going to save you?
Especially for the higher handicapper, very much so.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the lower markers can sometimes struggle with these this sort of awkward distance in, because it's like, oh, how far am I swinging back? So we're going to give you a bit of a system that will help you to know how far your half swing pitch shot goes.
Yeah, and we want, what we want our viewers to do and our students is to find out, measure it, find out how far it carries.
That's right.
With their sand wedge and their pitching wedge.
That's right. So just 2 clubs, you stand in your pitch. We're going to take the club back to a half swing distance. Dennise is going to do that for us. She's going to do a half swing distance.
So I'll grip down the club because I'm still doing my pitching distance.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go too far down. What would you say, halfway down the grip?
I'd kind of keep it the same. As when I'm pitching, because it is a pitch.
But like if you're super close, some people like to come right down. I don't like that either.
I don't.
So always halfway, call it halfway down.
So we're there.
Yep.
I'm going to aim in the direction of the bunker so I can see how far it's carrying.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set up, and I'm not going to hit it just yet. So I've got my same setup, Annie, as pitching, ball in the middle.
Yes, yep. And we've started with a pitching wedge.
Oh no, I've got my same wedge.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Yep, and the setup is the same, weight favouring the left side
That's right,
slightly.
that's right. So anytime it's less than a full swing, you're going to come down the grip. That's a good thing to remember.
Very good.
Just gives you more control over the shot.
Stance not wide,
That's
stance
right.
narrower.
Yeah, narrower, but not too narrow, because you've still got to balance
Still gotta get some
yourself.
balance.
Now, what does a half swing look like, Dee?
Okay, so this is what I think is my half swing.
Yep, so we've got left arm round about parallel to the ground, horizontal to the ground. We've got a nice right angle or L shape between the left arm and the club. So it means we've got a bit of wrist break. We're keeping this nice and straight. And half swing is around. Now, you can't tell yourself, but you could, you get a bit of a feel, have some practice swings.
I think so.
Stop and have a look.
Yeah, so long as you keep swinging the same distance, even if it's a little further,
That's
so
right.
long as it's the same distance.
Whatever feels a half swing to you. And on your practice swings, you can stop and check if you want to.
I must say, Annie, what I find is sometimes with my students and myself, I actually sometimes feel like I'm swinging less because we always swing
tend to swing further. That is
so
true.
I pretend I'm going maybe a little less, and then when I look at it, it's there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. And don't forget, this is an important point here, isn't it, Dee, that we are using our shoulders to take the club back. Quite often people think, oh, it's a short shot. I just pick up my arms, and we don't want to turn, but you do have to involve the body in this.
You still need that amount of turn.
You do.
It's not going to be a full turn.
No, but it's a body turn. It's not just the arms picking up. Yeah. So we're going to use this sand wedge, and we're going to take it to halfway, and then it's going to be a similar distance on the follow through.
So I'd hit the ball. Don't practice what I just did then, and then I'm going to go through
similar. So back swing and through swing roughly the same. And what you're going to do is measure where that lands, aren't you?
And I'm aiming at a bunker, so that I can see where it's landing, and then I'm just going to measure it, step it out.
Or if you had a GPS, you could do it that way. So let's have a shot.
Okay.
Half swing on a sand wedge, and we're going to tell you how far it goes. We need our flight scope for this, Dee. That was a nice shot. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll measure that out, and I'll put it up on.
Can I say, I think also I would probably have people doing maybe 5 or 10
Yes,
balls,
and get the average.
Get the middle.
Yeah.
You know, they're where most of them are tending to go. Like, get rid of the outlier.
That's
Let's say
right.
I fluff one and only goes there. Forget that one. Just
Yeah.
go for not your very best, but the mean of it all.
Yep. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, but Anne, I don't even know that I'm going to hit a good shot." Well, nobody knows they're going to hit a good shot. We're assuming you're going to play a reasonably good shot, because that's the best way to look at your golf, isn't it? Assume you're going to hit a good shot. You know.
So if we did that with my 56. and then I'd go to, say, my pitching wedge,
Yes.
and naturally I'd do the same length swing, and it will carry further.
Further, exactly. So
And
you want to write those two distances
Get it
down.
write
That's
it down,
You know a
laminate
little trick. You know a little trick when
Put it on your
put it on the shaft. Yeah, that's a great trick. That
It
one.
was interesting, Annie, when I had the state team, we did all of this.
Yeah.
And they laminated it
Yes.
and put it on the side of their bag. This is the best players in the state, because
Yes.
under pressure, you tend to forget.
It's so important. So all we've done is given you two distances, a sand wedge half swing and a pitching wedge half swing. Now, if you're a better player, you can also bring that down and do a quarter swing. So what would a quarter swing look like, Dee?
Quarter swing, same setup.
Same
down the
setup.
Same amount.
Yep.
So now all I'm doing is I'm really just swinging back until my shaft is
The
horizontal.
shaft is parallel. So still a little bit of wrist break, but only the early part.
Yep.
It's just a bit of softness there. Nice sort of very wide V, you might call that
Yep.
there. Club about parallel to ground. That's your quarter swing. Again, we'll do
And then
a
I'd come
dist
through.
similar on the follow
See how
through.
the follow through though is I'm really keeping it nippy. I'm not sort
Yep.
of wanting any of this
That
happening.
that's fatal, isn't it?
Yep.
If you get scoopy, and this is the number one fault you'll see for people when they're chipping and pitching and playing these sort of mid-range shots,
Yeah.
is that a temptation to scoop it up. So that really nice firm follow through is so
Do it
important.
again.
We sometimes call that the Y shape,
Yep.
with the Y between the arms and the club.
And it makes it very nippy at the ball too. I
Yes.
say nippy like I'm not deaccelerating.
That's right.
It's still quite, I'm getting the ball, then the ground.
Yes, and
And
you're
I-
going to get consistent connection
and
that
I
way.
think it's really important, this sounds terrible, but it's really important, especially for a lot of our lady viewers, is that you really need to mess up that ground.
You do, you do.
need that club head
Yeah.
to damage the ground.
Yeah.
It needs to have a collision with the ball and the ground.
That's right, that's right. Don't be afraid to hit down and
Yeah.
take some turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we would do a quarter swing with the pitching.
And this should go, it's quite interesting.
So Dee was right, that did go a little bit longer than that quarter swing, but it's still,
Yes.
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, err on the slightly
And I'm a
less.
pro and I still couldn't do it.
And it actually didn't fly that much shorter. And
15 metres, 15 metres?
yeah, shorter than the
Yeah.
first one. Yeah. A lot of people think half swing is going to be half the distance, and
Good
it's
point.
not. So
No.
let's say your full swing on a pitching wedge goes 80, just for argument's
Yeah.
sake. Your half swing's not going to go 40. It's going to
No.
be more like 50 or 60. So don't just think, oh, I'll just halve the
And
distance.
this is a great point. Like, I've done a lot of stuff with the flight scope, and it's quite amazing. Like, let's say, and it isn't, but let's say there's 10 metres difference between, your clubs, and
Yes,
there isn't
yeah,
always, but
yeah.
let's just say.
Yeah.
But the difference between this little swing here and the bigger is more than that. That's what really has astounded me, that
Uh-huh.
it's kind of, it's not like half, like you said, or just
Yeah,
little bits. It's
yeah.
a bigger difference than you would think.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because there's still a fair bit of body motion in a half swing, and you're creating quite good power.
Yeah, exactly. It feels
So
great.
so that's why it's important to be able to write these things down.
Yeah.
And I think a good way is to have a full swing distance on your sand and your pitch to start this process. Hopefully you've got that already. If not, go out, get your GPS, do a full swing, and then the half swing will be about 2/3 to 3/4, and then the quarter swing will be something less. But you're going to write them down. So you're going to have two columns, sand and pitch, and then a half swing and a full, a half, and a quarter would be perfect. If that's too much, just do a half swing, and then that'll be enough to get you started on this process if you're a higher handicapper.
But it's great because now you can now play the game of golf. You go, I'm this distance, oh, it's that swing.
Yes.
With confidence. It's about
Yes.
building confidence
Yes.
so that you can play the game of golf with less stress.
And just one more point too, we've talked about the carry distance. Now obviously there's going to be some roll, less roll on the sand wedge than on the pitching wedge, so you will have to allow for a little bit of roll, generally speaking. So you're not going to land it on the flag and stop it.
No,
You're not. That's right. Yeah, when you see the back, that's usually like a pro hitting a 7-iron in, not just a little. You don't get that much spin. So don't be going out there going, I want to get spin, particularly on these little ones, because you probably won't.
Plan for a little bit of roll.
Yeah, plan for some roll. So hopefully that's,
No,
sorry.
you carry. No, you carry.
No, you carry, write it down. And then after a while, you won't need to refer to it, but to start you off, it's a great way to write it down.
So don't forget to subscribe. Hope you're enjoying our channel.
Yes,
And look forward to
and
seeing
good
you.
luck with your mid-range pitching.
Oh, they're on
I've
your
got like
new-
tassels on my boots.
This one doesn't
No,
have
because I've got this
Oh,
panel.
This is going to look very
I
good.
know, I
look
just
like
did that
I'm
on the-
going- And look forward to
And
seeing
good
you.
luck with your mid-range pitching.
5 shots less.
Oh, no one practices this shot.
This one I practiced, the one I just did there, this is the first one I hit
I did. The first one I hit fat, she says.
Now the second one I hit really fat, but this is a really...
That's a very tight lie you got there.
It just feels so good when you get it.
Yeah, it's very tight, those lies.